Good evening, good evening, good evening. Today is Wednesday, April 30th. Last day of April, I believe. This ain't a 31-day month, is it? I don't think it is. Uh and welcome to the scene. Um this is Jake, and I hope y'all prepared for a little bit of relationship topics today. I'll be having a special guest on live here in just a few. But hey, we got a couple things to talk about, just general stuff. Not really much has happened today that I feel like rusing over. I do have a question for y'all though. Like, what if, like, y'all cook dinner and your significant other that's in the household doesn't eat it? How would you feel? Feel free to let me know how you would feel in the chat box, in the comments if you see me on TikTok, because I will be clipping this. But I'm just wondering. Personally, I would feel slighted, especially if I'm seeing them make something else to eat, even though you just got done working in the kitchen and cooking a pretty good meal, but instead they go and eat a freaking hot dog to heat up in the microwave. And there's perfectly good dinner right there. That's crazy to me. But let me know how y'all feel. Would you feel slighted? Would you not care? Would you be indifferent? Um, let's see. I don't know why this window isn't working today, but hey, uh, we got some good sports news going on today. Let's talk about some Shador Sanders news, right? Like, so he was prank called over the NFL draft, and the Falcons and the defensive coordinator have been fined a total of $350,000. Now, granted, we know these NFL organizations, that's kind of a mosquito bite, really, of a payment. I don't know how much defensive coordinators make typically, but for the organization as the Falcons themselves, that's pretty much a mosquito bite in their paycheck. But they really, I don't know if they're as much as fault as is the defensive coordinator, because that was really irresponsible for you. That's pretty much like a, what do they call it, a spillage in terms of cybersecurity. Uh, that just happened. You let that information leak into the hands of your son, and he did something as stupid as to prank call one of the hopefuls and kind of like murk up their day. Not even kinda. That would have hurt me. That would have hurt bad. Um, and I don't think the 250,000 that he got fined is enough, personally. Um, Now, granted, his kid did it, right. There's only so much that you should do against the parent in that situation. But what if? Let's just take it like, what if Shador was in a weakened state, right? And he went and hurt himself because of that. Like, what would we do then, right? It would be a whole different situation. People, you got to control your kids. Um, Bullying is never cool. Making fun of somebody is never cool. Um, you gotta be more mindful of what your kids are doing, especially if it impacts something as your job, right? That's unprofessional. That's very unprofessional that spilled into your kid's hands. I hope you gave him $250,000 worth of ass whooping, because that was the most expensive prank call I've ever heard of, and he deserves every lashing he needed. Clearly. Uh, let's see what else we got going on here, man. But listen, I found myself in sort of a predicament earlier, really in a topic with a conspiracy theorist. Uh, it goes back to all the world's leader related by blood. They never broke the bloodline. And what do you do when you get caught in a conversation that you just did not feel like having? Like, I'll give you a conspiracy conversation in my case. What do you do? Um, Personally, I like not to encourage the person. You know what I mean? I don't like to encourage the person to keep going. And yet somehow them conspiracy theorists can't turn it off when they start. It's nuts. And it's always so unprompted. Like, how did we get here? Is what I keep finding myself whenever I'm in that conversation. Can't turn it off. It's I usually have to let the conversation end naturally because I don't like to be mean. Uh, I can be mean. I can be a dickhead, admittingly, but I don't like to let the conversation linger. I definitely don't like to encourage it, so I just naturally just shift myself, like, out of whatever imaginary frame that I see myself in that moment to try to get the hell out of Dodge. You know what I mean? But let me know how you get out of those conversations. How do you deal with that when somebody just starts blabbing your head off? It ain't even got to be about conspiracy theory. Maybe you're not even a political person and somebody just starts blasting about their politics just out of nowhere, like, the government is costing us all our jobs or whatever the heck it might be. Like, and you're just sitting at the bar trying to have a drink, watching the NBA finals or the NBA playoffs in this case, because we're still in the month of April. What do you do? I've had people encourage those conversations. I'm just sitting there looking at them like, don't encourage this madness. Like, this is not what I'm here for today. Stop, please. Go ahead and leave comments. I'll definitely take them. Let's see what else we got here. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and I will be right back in a moment. Don't mind me, folks. I'm just trying to figure out why this window isn't popping up. Let's try that. There we go. All right, and we are back. A little bit of technical difficulties. Nothing wrong with that. Let's go to Twitter and see what's up today. I wanted to do a big relationship talk today. Still waiting on my guest to pop up, but we'll see. You know how it goes. Listen, I don't know why this is trending at number 16. I am so happy for this. Borderlands 4 has been announced to release September 14th. I'm sorry, September 12th. So I'm waiting on that pre-order myself. Borderlands is one of my favorite series. I always enjoy it. And there's going to be a lot. This one looks pretty good. Granted, don't they always? Look at that trailer, boy. That junk is smooth. Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait personally. Especially on PS5 graphics. It's gonna be great. No, I'm not a PC gamer. I don't subscribe to that. Good for you if you are. It's just not for me. I prefer consoles. I will always be a console player. Maxi. Maxi looking perfect as always. I do need more screenshots. I need to know more about the classes. I need to know more about the classes. There's the siren. Yeah, old girl looking dope. I like that. I dig that. And yes, I do blame the early 2000s for my taste in women. At least in fictional ones. Apparently you can mix parts in this one just like build a weapon kind of deal, which is pretty cool. Hyperion, handsome Jack, you disgusting son of a. I do think if she's a gadget character, I'm definitely gonna be playing her. I like gadget characters. I like gadget player characters. Harlow is her name. Me and gadget characters got a thing going on. Cause I played Zane in Borderlands 3. And then what was old girl's name from Borderlands 2 who had the mech? I forget her name, but I played her too. This Cat Raffle looked pretty cool too. What does he do? I should have watched the live stream they did of this. Kind of disappointed myself. Then there's Big Bro with the axe. Axes, excuse me, 2 of them, plural. Dual wielding fire and ice. I need to see something. I need to know what he do. But yeah, that's big video game news. Borderlands 4 coming out September 12th. Shoot, let me know if y'all gonna be on. I don't stream video games, but I will definitely be playing. If anybody actually wants my gamer tag, they can have it. But yeah. There's the full cast. I wonder if Maxi's kids are gonna be there too. Probably. Hey, Blue. Little girl. I got a kitty. That's what you're hearing. You're hearing my kitty. That's pretty dope. Blue girl, what you want? But yeah, man, let me know your thoughts and comments in the section. What else we got news-wise? I ain't really interested in a political topic today. I'm not in the mood. The world's full of that already. Lakers -5.5. What y'all think? Let me know y'all's thoughts. Granted, I don't have any viewers or listeners currently, but by the time y'all see this snippet, either the Lakers gonna be eliminated tonight, or they're gonna be going to Game 6. Hoping to get more snippets out there for y'all. Oh, come on. Golden State, dude. Really? Y'all literally just need to win this game. Y'all are up 3-1. Don't drop. Don't extend this out any more than you need to. Steph Curry needs rest. Come on, y'all. Jimmy, you've been playing for 9 minutes and you ain't got no points? Jimmy! Jimmy, come on, man. Fix it. Figure it out. Figure it out. Do it now. Like, this is crazy. 0 points. 0 of 3 from the field goal. 0 from 2 from 3. Where the heck is Steph? 0 points. Draymond 5 points. Why does Draymond Green have 5 points? Why does Draymond Green have 5 points and Jimmy and Steph got 0? What is happening? For timestamp purposes, this is at 8:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Draymond has the most points on the team. I'll take that back. He's tied for second most points on the team. Goal sent Gui Santos? Is that how you pronounce his name? I don't know how you pronounce his name. Gui Santos has 6 points. What is happening? Meanwhile, Dylan Brooks of all freaking people got not more points than the whole Golden State team. Oh, my blood pressure. Y'all run it up. Fred VanVleet got 14. Yeah, Houston trying to win tonight. Houston is trying to win tonight. They are not playing. That's on y'all. Y'all do y'all. Y'all want to lose tonight, Golden State? Fine. On the coaching, y'all remember what I said the other night. Doc Rivers. Doc, you just got bad luck, my dude. I'm not even going to put the whole loss on you. I respect you and all, but you have the worst luck. Let's see what the NBA world had to say about your loss yesterday. Emmanuel Acho, that was peak Doc Rivers. WTF. The Bucks were up 118 to 111 with 35 seconds in overtime, and they lost. Giannis had 30, 20, and 13, and they lost. How does this happen? Yeah, that is a good question. How does it happen? I mean, granted, shouts out to Halliburton. Man, that man is clutch. That man took being voted most overrated personally. That man is clutch. Man is clutch. Ooh, somebody got personal with it. This is what happens when Doc Rivers is your head coach. And man, it's kind of jinx. Doc Rivers teams just can't help but to choke. Where did it go? Yeah, why is that? Somebody tell me why is it the Doc River-led teams can't help but to choke? I don't even know why I typed that out. Yeah, it's a sports kind of night. Know what I'm saying? NBA playoffs is here. Yeah, this does go to the Doc Rivers pantheon of freaking losses. I just don't get it. I didn't understand what this man's problem is. I really do. I don't. It's not his problem. He's not playing. But that man has the luck of, what's the opposite of Irish? I need an ethnicity that has notoriously bad luck. Can't think of one right now, and I don't feel like calling one out either. But whatever the opposite of Irish luck is, he has that. Because since that Boston Celtics win, he went to the Clippers. Went to Philly. Now here in Milwaukee. I'm wondering when they're going to stop hiring this man. I don't want him to get fired, but this is exactly how it happens. This is exactly this is it. I might get this picture framed because this is exactly it. That man stays getting destroyed out here. 8 points. 8-0 run in 35 seconds. But yeah, hey, shout out to that man Halliburton, right? It was just as much his win as it was Doc Rivers' loss. And that's the way it goes. These young men taking over the game now. Shouts out to all the young dudes. I just hope Anthony Edwards doesn't find his rhythm tonight so my Lakers can pull it through. But if they can't pull it through with Luka, Reeves, and LeBron, I don't know what else we can do. Honestly, I think LeBron, your time is up if we don't pull this off with this team right here. Like, your time got to be up because there's nothing else to do. There's nothing else to do. Look at this squad. You have literally a top 3 player right there next to you that we gave up Anthony Davis for. Look at this squad. And Austin Reeves, I mean, he's a solid third option. But you got Luka Doncic right there next to you. What are we supposed to do if you don't pull this off? What are we supposed to do? Because if you don't pull it off this year, I don't think you're going to pull it off next year either. And that's sad to say because I want to see my Lakers do well. And it just don't sound like we are. And I hate that for us. What would I be willing to be? What would you be willing to sacrifice to see the Lakers come back from down 3-1? LeBron's big toe. That's what I'd be willing to sacrifice. LeBron's big toe. Take away his big toe forever. After the finals. After the finals. I want to see us get another ring. I ain't worried about. I want to see us get another ring. I ain't worried about making it out the first round just to get clapped in the second. Like, if you tell me we get another ring, give me LeBron's big toe. I will give you LeBron's big toe. That's all I'm willing to sacrifice. Not sacrificing nothing personal over sports. Ooh. Somebody said LeBron's last 20 years is stat padding. Oh, man. Your existence. The Dodgers winning another game this season. The Dodgers of all people? Oh, man. Oh, looky who we have here. Welcome our special guest. You want to be called by your Discord name or your real name? Okay. Well, welcome our special guest, Mindy. Mindy, welcome to the show. Chad, if y'all can't hear her, let me know.
I also can't read what they're saying, so.
I think they could hear you. Ain't nobody said they couldn't. But anyways, we gonna keep the relationship topic short tonight, but I'm sure we can get Mindy on another night when she's not busy.
Yeah, sorry, I got pulled into work literally.
No, it's all good. I'm glad you were able to join us regardless. So I'm gonna get to the quick funny topics. We're not gonna do nothing serious tonight, right? We're just gonna tread the water on like some of the funny stuff that I've wrote down.
The funny stuff from this administration that cannot be considered real, but is.
I mean, if you want to talk funny political, be my guest.
I'm just thinking about the people that are like, Trump to be Pope.
Yeah, those people need to. Those people are not godly people. They have no God. Those people are godless. Those people are completely godless. It's ridiculous. Um, those people are completely godless. I didn't. I hope nobody was being serious,
Oh
but
no, 100% serious.
with
100% serious.
with the type of voters that he has, I can't imagine. You know what? I can't imagine. I tried. Sometimes I don't think his supporters are real people, except for the fact that I work with a lot of them. He said he could barely hear you. Shoot. How the hell do I fix
I
that?
can turn myself up, maybe.
Yeah, try turning yourself up because you are a little quiet for me too, and I thought it was.
I have everything ready. Does anything better?
You still seem a little soft spoken.
Discord is turned all the way up.
I'm wondering if it's me. Yeah, my audio output is. Say something else.
Okay, talking. Oh, here we go. Is that better?
I can hear you pretty good, but your audio, even if I have it all the way up, it's not. Yeah, your audio input is still a little low
Hmm.
on my side.
You might even be able to adjust my audio for you personally
Yeah, I'm trying.
in
Oh, that's a
the
little
chat.
left. Mm. Try it now.
Okay. Testing.
That did absolutely nothing. What is this audio property?
No, but like even if you, what if you have me right clicked on Discode
What do you
in this
mean?
channel? Yeah.
Oh, give me a second to check that out.
And then we make things out to be.
Y'all, we learning. We are learning. We are learning step by step. How the heck do I turn you up? Uh, y'all, we're gonna take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. Should do it. All right, and we are back, and I'm a little too damn close to my mic. Okay, as we were.
So what were y'all talking about before I like
Oh,
rudely jumped in?
I was just talking about sports news. Honestly, just filling in the blanks. Sports is always my backup whenever something not planned isn't. You know, whenever something doesn't happen. But why'd I put that out there? But yeah, what would you do? I had a question for you.
Okay.
Your what was it? I had the topic right there on the tip of my darn tongue that I wanted to ask you about. So I watched this radio show out of Arizona called John Jay and Rich, right? And they do this segment called Second Date Update, um, in which they will be like, they'll get a caller who will tell them about the date they just went on, and then clearly the person hasn't called them back, so they'll give them their phone number, and then the radio station will call them. They'll let them know they're on the radio, and they'll basically ask like, "Hey, why did you ghost our friend?" And so there was this one situation where like, uh, Bro was talking in memes, pretty much. Like that's what the woman described it as, because it was a guy that called in this time, and he said the
Uh-huh.
date went real good, this, that, the third, blah blah blah, and like the she said bro was talking like kind of in memes, like he sounded like a TikTok reel compilation, like how the way he was talking. Basically, she was saying he was young as hell.
That's how I felt about Brian.
Yeah, and because of that, she didn't call him back. So like run the thought process by me of what makes you comfortable with an age gap.
Well, there are a lot of pieces to look at, like in the scenario that you were talking about,
Mm.
right? Like in my situation, because it's not like we went on a date in person. Most of our interaction at first was remote. Everything, instead of having a verbal response, was either an emoji or a GIF or a GIF or whichever people prefer pronunciation, because I use that too. And I wouldn't know a lot of the references. And I mean, it's taken me a while to become fluent in emoji, even, because I don't think that way. I think in words. Well, I think in feelings and facts and imagery and um, things of that nature, but I know how to automatically translate into words. He's not so good at it. I think that that is a generational gap for sure. You've never really, like, that generation just hasn't had to do it in a lot of situations. If most of their interactions were online and via text or via something else, they've always had that resource available, and they can rely on that.
So the thing is, like, because me and your significant other are of the same generation, we haven't always had that to rely on. Like like me, I didn't get a computer till I was 16 years old. I didn't have internet in my house until I was 16 years old. I didn't have a
So
cell phone until I was 17.
so that's another gap, right? So I didn't have a cell phone until I was 18. I bought my own, right? Like when I was in high school, they didn't exist. I think when I was in high school, we still had like plug-in car phones, and like the very beginning bricks of cell phones were coming out. Like when I got into high school, um, pagers were just at the point where they were leaving. I was a little bit too young for pagers.
Mm.
Um, but the difference is, and I'm not really sure how that worked out, but the difference is, and this is something to point out, even though you're from the same generation, you can't be judged the same way because of that life experience, right? Brian has been around computers since he was very, very young. They said that one of the first things that he essentially crawled to was a computer. They couldn't keep him away from it. They always knew he'd have something to do with computers growing up.
Okay, that's fair enough. I mean, and yeah, but we didn't always have this like text speak. You know what I mean, right? Because before the computers, there was this pager speak. People learned how to send like
Code, yeah.
code through
These
pager.
codes, yeah. These codes mean different things, yeah.
Yeah, like those ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? People might be sending a dick pic through freaking pager code. Who knows? I don't know. But but
I
like,
mean, so it's a cultural thing, right? So I would say that there are people in your generation, let's say, who grew up even more rurally than you guys did, and grew up on farms. They definitely didn't have access to technology, probably, and they probably are a little bit more like the older generations, because as far as communication goes, because they didn't have access to that. And for us, like obviously I have access to it now, but by the time I had access to it and where I was in my developmental period and where you guys were, it was totally different. It's the
that's
same
fair.
reason boomers can't do anything with technology. They have a hard time with it.
That's fair. That's true. Because like, let's see,
Um,
you were 18 when you finally got a cell phone, which would put me at the age of. You ain't got to put yourself out there. I'm just taking a roundabout guess. I think there's a 10-year gap between us.
Were you born in 92?
And I was born in 91.
So there's an 11. It's probably like a 10 to 11 year
10
gap.
to
Yeah.
11 year gap. So that would put me at literally 8 years old when you got your first cell phone. So you were, your cell phones weren't even the same then because you were lugging around a brick.
Well, my first phone personally was a flip phone, but like you're talking like calculator background.
Yeah,
Or you're
that's what
talking
I'm
like a Game
imagining.
Boy.
Yeah, that's what I'm imagining in my head. Like you're carrying around something that's the size of my Game Boy.
So I mean, remember we came up with most of that bigger, bulkier stuff, and ours, even the flip phones though, were pretty close to the flip phones you can still get now for old people.
That's
Actually,
fair.
they can't be too small because it's hard for old fingers and stuff like that, right? So
Hmm.
but I would say the biggest gap is because of the age group I was in when we got phones and when that technology came out. By the time I got a cell phone, I had the option of using T9 texting, and I think most of your generation did not use it.
Uh, Probably not because, like, granted, I did have my parents did try to give me a one of those prepaid like track phone kind of deals, right? Um, and that lasted a little bit, but we were poor, so they really couldn't afford to keep up with the minutes, keep up with getting me minutes. So, like, I had one of
But
those.
what was your first phone though? Was it a smartphone?
Hell no. My first
Okay.
first phone was a literal track phone. Like you buy it out of Family Dollar and you put minutes on it.
Well, that's fine. But what did it look like?
It was one of those little Nokia like rectangular phones. Like literally my thumb. I had to be careful with my thumb because like even with my thumb the size that it was back then, it still covered three buttons.
Oh, the Nokia like coffin brick,
Yeah.
the
No.
indestructible
Yes.
thing.
Actually, yes. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, those things are great. You can like run them over and they're perfectly fine.
Listen, I worked for Sprint back when they were transferring over, back when they had bought something called the Iden Network. And it had all of the
Mhm.
Nokia phones. Construction workers use these phones. Businesses use these phones because they're durable. I had to be the one on the other end of that phone telling them, hey, since Sprint bought this network out, it's getting shut down. And so you're going to need to change phones and or change providers.
Oh, that's fun.
So many people complained because they told me the type of phone they had. They had like that really solid the push to talk Nokias. A lot of them did. The really solid push to talk Nokias that you could like drop it from a 20-foot building and that joker still be good.
Yeah, I definitely had to miss out on that push to talk thing. I really wanted. I was like, oh my god, it's cell phone walkie talkies.
But yeah, by then I'd already had a smartphone and I was like, well, unless you're like I understood the construction workers having it, I did not understand regular people still having those phones.
Because people do not like change and they like things that they're comfortable with, and that you can apply that across the board to any aspect of life.
I mean, that's true. But here in 2025, you ain't got no choice but to change. You know, upgrade every couple of years
That's not
or get
true.
lost.
I don't think that that's true.
I mean, I don't think you have to, but like the changes are coming.
So that's actually very interesting. And I also think that's why older people gravitate towards them. Apple, while they do make changes, they are slow and they are universal. They're not like piecemeal and all over the place because there's only one maker, right? Like that is the pro of one maker versus like the innovation maybe and the like the cutting edge stuff of Android. That's a huge difference. So I was all Android when I started because obviously they are cheaper. um but in general, I was all Samsung. I was all Galaxy, and I bandwagoned without ever trying them. I bandwagoned and were like, "Oh, iPhone is for hipsters and blah 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 blah." And it wasn't until I actually got one, and I got lucky. Yeah, like I got a later generation one. Like I didn't get one until it was like they were in the 6S pluses.
Yeah.
When I got my first iPhone, I realized I was never going back to Android, and I haven't since. I was able to keep that phone for so long
Eh.
and not be obsolete, right? Like, so I have upgraded because I was working for Apple at a point where I didn't need to upgrade my phone, but I had a stipend to use. And I was seasonal, so I was like, I'm going to use it, right? So I currently have a 13 Pro Max. And at the time, I still had an XS Max. I gave that phone to my mom. It's still perfectly fine. It's still completely supported. Like, it works with the newest technology if she gets accessories and things like that. And because it's one of the newer ones that doesn't have a button, it still works exactly the same way if I wanted to transplant her to a brand new phone. She wouldn't have to change any of her learning. And
That's,
so,
I mean, that's fair. And I got my own personal biases against Apple, mainly just because the one time I tried an iPhone, I had taken it to drill with me, and we were
mhm,
doing an overnight drill inside of basically a concrete hut.
that sounds
I
fun.
woke up the next morning and that phone was broken.
Mm.
It was I remember the phone because actually it's one of the phones that I was supposed to pitch to customers when I was transferring them over to the Iden network. But the phone was old by the time like that happened. I got the phone because I got this particular phone just because it was cheap and I was on a budget when I got it because something had happened to my Windows phone, which by the way, never buy a Windows phone. That phone was
I have,
bad.
I have
That
friends that swear by Windows phones. Like
oh my
freaking,
god, that phone
we
is
have
bad.
trumpers, and like I have friends that are like that with Windows.
That phone is bad. It was bad, and like so when I
Do
switched
you
from that,
remember which
huh?
iPhone it was? Do you remember which iPhone it was?
Yeah, it was the iPhone 4S.
Oh, see, that was before my time, so I got nothing for you.
It wasn't before your time. This was I had that phone in 20.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's before my time of knowledge because I had nothing to do with Apple at that point.
Okay,
I don't have personal experience with anything past the second generation of sixes. I had friends that had fives. Like, I can recognize a five, but if you were to pull out a four, I'd be like, I don't know what that is.
hold on. I'm gonna try to get a 4S.
Um, and I would say that there might have been some type of a gap as far as like technology went at that point. But I feel like currently we've been in a very consistent place for like the last 10 years as far as phones and technology and what they
Yeah,
represent and how they come across and stuff.
yeah. Cause like the first wave of smartphones, right? The first smartphone I got, I can't even tell you what the hell it was. Like,
I
I just
wouldn't.
knew that I could get on the internet with it. That was it. I can't tell you what it did.
So I was an old person. Like I sounded like an old person if I think back to when I went from okay, so like when I started with phones, right? Obviously, like I said, it's like calculator background. And then I was like really into phones at first, right? Like I got the very first color flip phone, which was also a piece of crap and extremely expensive if we think about what it is now.
Probably a Samsung.
Um no,
No,
mm-mm.
not a Samsung.
No, not for a flip.
They
Mm-mm.
have flip phones. I think my
They
first flip phone was actually a Samsung. Hold on.
Motorola kind of ran the game on that and LG was kind of right behind it.
No,
Um
I lied. You're right. It was an LG. I lied.
That's what
It
I'm
was.
saying. Like that's in that era. That's kind of Samsung wasn't really a thing with phones until we got full screen, almost. And we got into smartphones, right? When they started coming out with Galaxies, that's when I knew who Samsung was.
Facts.
Um,
Because that
and like they
Galaxy
released.
S3 was a game changer.
Well, I had a Galaxy S2. I'm trying to remember if I had an original Galaxy. I don't think I might have gone to the 3, but I cannot remember. I don't think I went to the 3 because the 3 had like that weird double micro port thing, right? It wasn't just like a standard micro USB. It was like a that weird micro USB that has like two plugs.
Oh wow.
I can't remember. It was
Oh
either
yeah,
three or
yeah,
four.
yeah. That ain't even USB. That's just a plug. Just a plug.
Well, it is a type. It is a type of USB because I have hard drives that use it.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, some of my that is
Yeah, I
like
have
some of my
external
work
hard
hard
drives
drives
that
still
use
have that.
that. So,
What
I
was it?
remember I remember going for like having my flip phone, and I remember when you could use the internet kind of on
Mm-hmm.
flip phones. Kind of.
You could get on
Lots of
MySpace with them.
asterisks.
You could get on
Ah,
MySpace with them. Dead ass. I'm dead ass serious. You wouldn't be able to see crap, but you could get on MySpace with them.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like when we started being able to like check emails and stuff, but it was so bad, right? And I am the type of person that doesn't like to use stuff until it's perfect, like, or at least close to usable perfect, right? So when we went to flip phones being able to access the internet in some ways, I was like, this is garbage. I don't need this. I need my phone to be able to text and talk, and that's all I want. And that's literally what I sounded like.
Okay,
So
boomer.
then, exactly. And then smartphones came out, and I was like, I don't need all that. Why you need all that? And the touch on a lot of those was awful.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
I knew how I felt about like touch screens anywhere else, like in your car or anything like that, where you're like gonna break the screen, you're hitting the button so hard because you think it's gonna do something, like it's gonna register better. And I'm like, I don't want to do that with my phone. I do not want to be fighting with my phone all day. I will throw it. That is not my thing. And so I waited. I waited until the touch became usable for me. And
That's fair.
that's when I migrated. Obviously now looking back, like I I have always personally invested, well, since moving to iPhone anyway, I've personally invested in spending more on my phone than I would, let's say, on my computer, right? This is the very first time I've ever spent more on my computer with this recent build, ever, than I have spending money on a phone. And the reason for that is because that phone is something that I use more often than I eat or sleep, right? If you
I
think
mean,
about it, you're
I'm
on that
pretty sure that's
phone.
everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
It is your lifeline. You use it all day, every day, in everything that you do, for the most part. It's a tool. It's a bunch of different things. And so I decided, if there's something I'm going to spend money on, it's going to be something that I use that often.
yeah. See, what's crazy is like I in 2000 and what is this 2011, right? I moved back to Arizona, um, and like I did that with no cell phone. Back then, I told myself because I think it was after like my BlackBerry died or something happened to my BlackBerry or whatever, and I was just like, man, F it.
I never,
I
I
don't
never
need
owned
to.
one.
It was all right, but it wasn't nothing to brag about. But I was like, I don't ever need a phone. Landlines will always be here, except they weren't. So I moved all the way back to like I took a bus 3 days across the country moving back with no cell phone, and then like I got to Arizona, started living, started living there for a while, and then 3 months down the line, it was like September before I finally spoke to my mom. I finally used like one of my roommate's cell phones to call them, or no, I think I bought a flip phone. No, I used one of my roommate's cell phones to finally call my mom, and she's like, "Boy, where have you been?"
Mm.
And I was like,
Do
I've been
you
around."
wait? Wh- do you remember payphones? Like, do you remember like when you
Yeah,
stopped seeing them?
yeah, yep. I remember actually because I never really used payphones. I just remember the last time I saw them.
You never used one.
I used them like
Okay.
when I was a kid, really, because like they would be on the block and I would use them to call my dad and stuff. But like I didn't use payphones as an adult because they were leaving. Like hell, it was even a sales pitch on the phone. Um, because it was like
Uh,
because talking to old people and they're like, well, I don't think I need a phone anymore because like they're so adamant about not switching over and not getting rid of their phone. Well, I don't think I need a cell phone anymore. I was like,
Look,
ma'am,
my parents still have a landline.
what?
Uh huh. I still call my parents on the house phone. We have accounts, like like the grocery store accounts and shit like that, right? We have accounts tied to our home phone number. I still use it.
That's crazy. You know, you want to know something crazy? Like, I had a whole boy Alan back in high school, and Brian knows him. Brian will be able to tell you about. Well, I don't know if Brian will remember Alan. He disappeared. I don't know where he went, but he was like, he was one of the first people I met that said, and this is back in 2007. He said, "Yeah, we don't have a house phone." And I said, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, we all have cell phones, so we don't have a house phone." And I was like, "That is crazy." And now it's the exact opposite. I think having a house phone is nuts.
I almost wonder if it's because my parents might be bundling something.
That's true. Cause
The
my plan
the
did
other
come with a house phone line.
the other aspect of that is for a while there was and it's kind of gone back and forth. International calls from a landline are different cost-wise than from a cell phone.
Let's see.
And like it's the rules are weird. So like I know that if I have an international plan. So if I were to call my parents on a landline in Malaysia when they're visiting, it would cost me nothing. However, if I were to call them on their US cell phone that they have there, it would cost both of us money.
Unless they're connected to Wi-Fi.
But then you're not making a phone call. At that point, like for me, because they all have iPhones now, they would be getting an iMessage call.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
It would be like a FaceTime audio call or something. I mean, it's why everybody has freaking like WeChat and whatever the other one is.
WhatsApp,
My brain's
Signal.
freaking-
Yeah,
Yeah, that garbage.
that's what I did. I mean, you say it's garbage, but then you see some of them like $10 a day um, charges for international billing. Because when I was overseas, I was looking at it. Granted, I didn't really care just because I was getting paid. But
WhatsApp. WhatsApp. That's the one my brain just couldn't figure out.
yeah, WhatsApp. There's WhatsApp, Signal.
Well, Signal's a little bit different. Most of the people that I know that use Signal are people that are DoD contractors.
Yeah,
So let's think
and
about
DoD
that.
in general, we use Signal. It's just a safe way to work, unless you just so happen to leak the information with a reporter
Right.
inside the fucking chat.
Yeah. Bombing.
Um, but yeah, but this has been a riveting talk, and I hope to have you back on the show in the future.
Yeah, sure.
Well, everybody, this is Jake. This has been Mindy and Jake. Mike's Super Short Show. No, it hasn't. Disney, don't sue me, please. But we appreciate y'all coming through, and I'll see y'all again on Friday. Bye.